Hello and welcome to the Gothic Unicorn. Today I've got another 1/48 scale build for you, and I'm going to be building some more furniture to go into my latest project house, which is the Hangman's Halt kit from Petite Properties. So let's get on with it. One of the things that I wanted to include with this kit build was to get a kitchen in there. Now, because all of these buildings so far seem to have a definite purpose for the ground floor, and I'm pretending that there's bits behind, I decided that the first floor room of this house was going to be a sort of living kitchen. The kind of kitchen that people used to have when they might have a best room as well. And I've decided that I'm going to use these two pieces, these retro kitchen pieces, which came out of the 2021 Advent calendar, but are now available on Petite Properties website for the kitchen. I've got a base unit and a wall unit. I've also got a cooker, and I've got to build a sink of my own because I couldn't get a sink when I was buying things. So this is what we're going to be working on today, and these are basically just faux kitchen cabinets. There's no opening doors and things like that, so they should be really straightforward. And obviously, being retro, I'm definitely going to give them a retro look. So in the base unit kit, we've got our parts, which are all nicely cut out. They are mounted in a sort of carrier sheet, and you have to just remove them from there with a sharp blade, but it's all there. And these appear to have the details cut into it. So as you can see, the panels of the doors for the cupboards are marked out, and then you've got the handles marked as well, and then you've got the instructions, which is Petite Properties. The instructions are really straightforward. So we've got 6 different parts, and this seems really quite straightforward. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off by deciding what colour we're going to do this kitchen. Now, I'm not sure what sort of age I'm putting on it. This sort of kitchen kind of looks to me like it could be maybe late 50s, 60s. So I'm going to go and look at my inks and see what I can find. I'm thinking that possibly the panels should have been, of the doors should have been white once, maybe. Not sure. So it's off to do a little bit of online research, and then I'll come back and hopefully I'll have come up with a colour scheme. After much thought, research and consideration, I decided I'm going with this blue colour. This one is called Baby Blue, and it sort of got that right sort of retro look that I want for this kitchen. It's a colour that reminds me of a piece that my grandparents had in their kitchen. It was actually one of those supposedly kitchen in a unit, whereby you had a fold down piece that you could prepare things on. You had cupboards above and below and drawers and things, and I remember them having it well into the 80s, possibly later than that. Now, I've gone with this one because it's a fairly bright colour. It will work really well with me dirtying it up, and I'm just going to go over this, which is the front panel. Now, the trick to using an alcohol marker is to work quickly. And then you don't get those lines in your piece the way that you do if you use a water-based pen. I'm just going to go over these pieces again, particularly in the case of this one, the middle. I assume that the handles are more of a sort of inset piece where you put your finger in to pull it out, rather than a proper sticking out handle. At least that's the kind of idea that I've got going. Now I'm going to team this blue with some white paint. I'm going to paint the work surface, and that will then give me a nice contrast, which is very in keeping with this sort of retro look. And yeah, I think this is going to work. I hope it's going to work. The next step is to take a craft knife and to remove the pieces. Now, these are usually quite easy to do. Most of the small ones normally only have one little tab, and as you can see, they come away quite straightforwardly, quite simply. And I'm just going to get that this way, aren't they? Is that one gone? No, it hasn't gone properly. Now these little pieces, the doors in particular, I need, and I think the end of this piece needs to be coloured in the blue. I've left the piece that's going to be white in there for the moment. I will leave it there so it's nice and safe until I come to paint it. So anything that needs colour on the edges, we'll get that next. It's never going to look quite as good because being laser cut, you do get more darkness. It's the charred bits, isn't it? Yes, that's what I'm thinking about. I'm thinking about the charred bits. But I just go around the doors and tidy that up. You can paint all of these bits if you want. I just like using the markers on it. And again, if you want a shinier finish, that kind of thing, you can add thin coats of varnish. But it's personal preference. I like to think that this would probably be a very kind of worn piece. Well used, well loved, and kind of past it a bit. So I'm going to put these pieces out of the way safely, and then we're going to start constructing it. The main body of the piece, I suppose you'd call it the carcass, is constructed from this single piece. And what I've done is I have already folded these bits over for no other reason than I like to. Now, what we need to do is we need to get some glue, and I'm using my usual Cosmic Shimmer acrylic glue. You can use whatever suits you. This glue is one that I like because it is both runny and tacky. And I've got to fold these pieces in so that the bottom of the cabinet is formed. And I'm just going to sit here for a while and hold it in place. There's a lot of waiting, a lot of olding little bits, because with the furniture, it's very difficult to use anything else to hold it in place. So I just do this like this until my glue takes, which doesn't take very long. One of the reasons why I like this glue. And there we have it. Now I think, let me have a look at the picture. Yes, I've got a little bit that's going to stick up behind. Now, decisions. I think I'm going to have it blue. So I need to colour this little bit along this side. And while I'm at it, I am just going to put some colour down these sides in case they end up being visible in the final setting. There we go. Now that needs to dry, so I can set this aside. It has stuck. I just want the glue to cure. Now the front piece, which will go on like so, now needs sticking together. So I'm going to put that one aside and I'm going to bring back in this piece. Now I have got to stick on 2 pieces on of those, one of those, and they've got to go on the front. The other door is inset, so it goes behind. So we will start off with the drawer fronts. Now, one of the things that I like a lot about the Petite Properties furniture is that the details are there for you. This is true about their buildings as well, but they do get a lot of details into their furniture. I can make very simple cupboards. I've made a wardrobe, I've made a fridge, I've even made a sink already on my own out of cardboard. But they're very basic. These pieces have far more detail, and that is what I love about them. Now I need to get these doors the right way round because they do have a right and a wrong way. And going to stick these on. I should say, as always, I'm not associated with Petite Properties. I just love their kits. You know, I do this because, well, it is always good to share when you find something that works. And I'm going to be honest, I have enough trouble cutting pieces for things at a 1/12 scale. Cutting pieces for furniture at 1/48, I'd rather buy the kits and build them. And yeah, let somebody else have done the fiddly bits of getting all the measurements right. So as you can see, the front of the cabinet is starting to come together. I'm going to leave this for a few moments before I stick the piece onto the back, mostly because I want to be certain that they're not going to fall off when I turn it over. I don't think it is. I think we're all right. So we will turn that over and we will just make sure that, yeah, we get the door the way we want to. Now, if I've got this right, I need to put glue onto these edges. I'm hoping that I've got this right. Now again, you can use a glue bottle with a fine nozzle. That is absolutely brilliant for doing these little bits. I just happen to prefer using my glue with a cocktail stick. See, now I have to turn it back over to be able to get it into place. And then I will get this and just do that. And I've just realised that stupidly I haven't put any ink on the inside of that inset. This is kind of foolish of me, but because these markers have got a fine and a brush nib, it is possible for me to just go around and touch it up just so that it doesn't stand out like a sore thumb, because we don't want it standing out like a sore thumb. And I'm going to put a little bit along the bottom, even though you won't see it because it's going to be on the floor, but it makes me happy. So I've got my front. Now I think that I put oh, it doesn't say about sticking this piece on. It appears to have missed a stage, which is unusual, but I was just checking that there wasn't anything I needed to do. And I'm going to attach my my front panel onto my kitchen cabinet. And this is, it really is a simple. As I say, with the Petite Properties pieces, the detail is definitely in the little bits. It is the little things that make these pieces so fantastic. And let's put that into like that and not get yourself stuck to it. That would be a bad idea. And then I'm just going to remove any excess from all the way around. And then I've got a kitchen cupboard minus its worktop. So it's time to paint the worktop. Now to paint the worktop, I'm going to use some white acrylic paint and probably at least 2 thin coats. Thin coats are a necessity with pieces this small. So I'm going to go off and do that off camera because it's bad enough colouring these pieces with a pen. The paint takes longer to dry, so we shall see how I get on. The countertop has been painted with white acrylic paint. I haven't put any Mod Podge or anything else on it. I'm not sure whether it needs it or not. I'm going to look at it and then decide if I want it with a bit of a shine. I'm going to apply the glue around these exposed edges. Which is what it tells me to do. I need to put glue on 3 sides of this, and then I need to put a bit of glue onto the back of the countertop. And then we simply pop this into position and we just make sure that it's even, which I think that is even. And then I need to clear off the excess glue. Like so. And we'll move that, and we've got our retro kitchen base unit. And I can see a little bit more glue around here that I haven't cut, which is not a problem. I want to just get these out. I thought I was safe, but I wasn't. And I am really liking this piece. I say this about most of the Petite Property kits that I make, but I'm really liking it. I think that is going to be brilliant in my little kitchen. And so it's on to the wall unit. The wall unit kit is pretty much the same as the base unit kit, in that you've got your piece with the bits ready to come out of it and your instructions. You've also got a little tiny piece of acetate in this one, which I'm going to put out of the way for the moment. Now, I have already been over this with the pen, just to get a bit of a head start, and I'm going to cut out the pieces that I need first off, which is that piece, which is an internal shelf, and then I've got the main section of the unit, which is this big piece, which I have coloured all of the outside and I've coloured some of the inside. Now, I think I actually need to colour more of the inside, and I'm just going to, because these bits will be visible through the acetate, possibly. I can definitely go back and add more colour if I want, but it should be enough, I hope. Now, I am going to apologise if there's any weird noises in the background. It seems like everybody has decided that today is the perfect time to be doing things outside. It's like, no, it's not. I'm trying to film. It's not even a nice day and they're all trying to do things outside. So I'm going to start off by applying some glue to my little internal shelf. Now, this has got to go into the slit in the main piece, and it has to be dry. It has to be put into place so that it dries straight. But I am just going to take off the excess glue, and then we can give that a moment to dry, and then that is the starting point. Now, obviously all these pieces, which I normally pre-fold, but I haven't this time, fold into place, and I've got to put glue onto, right, okay, I've got to put glue onto these edges. Now, it hasn't quite dried, but we can leave that for a moment while we are going to put glue onto the exposed edges of the side panels. So I'm going to put some onto here and here, and then we are going to put glue onto this end. And what I'm now going to do is I'm going to fold this up like this I'm going to fold this up like this, and this should give me, once everything is held together, the basic shape of my wall unit. Now I'm going to hold this for a while and I'm going to let it all dry, and then I'm going to go in and I'm going to touch up around the edges with my marker. So I'll do that and I'll be right back. While the structure of the wall unit dries, we're going to work on the front, and as with the base unit, this is put together by sticking on the fake cupboards. Now in this case you've actually got two cupboards on each side, and they are different sizes, so I need to get that one into place, and then I can put the small one beneath it. Line it up with the gap on the centre. Should we lift that up a little bit? Just clear off any extra glue. It's not actually quite as clearly marked. You've got to be a bit more careful yourself, but it's possible. And then we will repeat it on the opposite side. And the first ones are actually easier because you've only got to line them up against the sides of the base, whereas this one I need it to look level from side to side. And this is the problem with working with such small pieces. Right, I think that will work. And then we will just do the little bit at the bottom, which goes in like this. Now I need to use my little cocktail stick to manoeuvre it into position. And check that it's even, and I think that is going to work. Now the piece of acetate goes on the back of here, so it looks like you've got a glass door, and it has also got two little handles. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply a small amount of glue probably a larger amount of glue than I actually need, and some little tiny bits at top and bottom, and then I'm going to try and get this piece into place. Now, this is going to be easier said than done, I can guarantee that. No, it's worked. I do believe I've got it. Now I've put the handles on the wrong side, but you know what? I don't care. It is going to do. So that is the front, you can see that, of my wall unit. Now the next stage is to fit this into here like this. I just put it a little bit more glue and we will just clean it up. Now I'm actually wondering if I need to put something on that little shelf, and I'm thinking possibly I do, so I may just leave this piece here, but obviously to glue this on you would put glue down the two edges and stick the front on, and then you've got your nice little wall cupboard, which I think is absolutely brilliant. and it's going to be perfect in my little house. And here we have the 2 pieces of the retro kitchen, base unit and wall unit, ready to go into my little project. I'm really happy with these. I like how they've turned out. They've got the right look that I want for the property, and they're going to look good. They're definitely going to look good. If you've enjoyed this video, and I hope you have, please like, comment and subscribe. Maybe even ring that notification bell so you know when another video goes up. I release videos most weeks, normally on a Friday, but real life does sometimes get in the way. So no promises. But until next time, bye.